I would have looked alright in the 90s, but these days I get derided in the comment sections for being skinny or sarcopenic. What am I on about? Well, it all started with an AI Artbots glitch. It forgot who shirtless Simon and Jumbo the cat were and generated something obscene. No, not in that way, but instead of a white-haired lean Simon, I got a dark-haired young Jim Bro with a likewise dark and clearly evil cat. Huge chest, bulging deltoids, wide torso, not to stereotypize, but very American. When I rewired the bot's rusted memory, restored Simon and Jumbo, and placed the two images side by side, the contrast was stark. And I thought, here is a perfect illustration of what's been happening in the male physique department for the past 6 decades or so. What used to be exceptional, even freakish, is now a baseline. Pity the young man, I thought. Hi, I'm Pavel. I'm an anthropologist, and this channel is my take on exercise and the fitness industry. I'm interested in what they ignore, a long time horizon. If you want habits that preserve your mobility and options, you are in the right place. When I was a young boy, I saw the Bruce Lee films. His physique looked extraordinary. He was fast, lean, and exceptionally defined, but still very much human. You could imagine him walking around somewhere in the world, wearing normal clothes, doing normal things. He would just have more capable muscles under his clothes. By the time I was finishing high school, things started to change. The Terminator hit the big screens as well as other Arnold vehicles. They helped to move bodybuilding from the freak show margins into the mainstream. It would take a while for the damage to seep through. In the 90s, it was still Brad Pitt as Tyler Durden in Fight Club that captured the imagination as the male ideal. But not long after that, the dam broke. The social media came on stage and flooded us with one endless, inflating comparison feed. Arnold was never normal, yet he was normalized. Everyone below that new reference point started feeling inadequate, unfinished, and behind. We are always a product of our era. Stick till the end for a few words on that. And we are brought up with those images that are considered normal. We try and we inevitably fail to get anywhere close. We get discouraged, and because of the all or nothing mentality, we frequently quit physical development and muscle building effort in its totality. Why bother training if normal already looks impossible? Others do the opposite. They chase the image at all costs, ignoring pain and acting like recovery does not matter. Injuries make sure that this type of training eventually stops too. There is something we're not told as young men about today's male body ideal. Shall we call it pharmaceutical assistance? Once that's spelled out clearly, a lot of confusion and cognitive dissonance goes away. It becomes clear why you can work out and push yourself like the greats, but get nothing but injuries for your troubles. Rick Gervais made these great jokes at the Golden Globes in 2022. Have we got an award for the most ripped junkie? No, no point. We know who'd win that. If you know the game is rigged, you can refuse to play. But only if you know. And as people get older and cling to these ridiculously inflated ideas, things get tragic and comical at once. They disengage early as they can no longer reasonably hope for that picture they were chasing. Here is my take on it. There is another way. The Arnold body was impressive for a moment, but the Bruce Lee physique is impressive across decades. Leaner and more capable, not bigger. Our physiology is shaped by what our ancestors needed to do to survive. We're not designed to carry massive amounts of muscle. We traded the pursuit of raw strength for larger brains. Hunter-gatherers trained to hunt and gather, not to puff themselves on Instagram. Warriors were valued for stamina, precision, and usefulness to the group. You can see that in the ancient Greek statues. These bodies look capable, not ballooned out of proportion. You can imagine them running, throwing, or wrestling, and sometimes they are portrayed in those actions. Today, the only action most fitness influencers see is preening to the camera. Let's tell the young generation the truth. Today's bullshit ideal is not an absolute timeless norm. It's recent, it's local, and it's extremely fragile. Now what? Rejecting it does not mean rejecting all effort. It means changing the rules for yourself, because you have to let the society be for now. I converted myself to fitness after 40. The benefits are real and the costs in effort are much lower than you've been led to believe. My weight hardly altered, but my body composition must have. I'm visibly more muscular, and people notice this when at the beach or in other shirtless settings. But with clothes on, I look regular. And the real change is in how I feel and what I can do. And I can do a lot of stuff, and they are all fun. Which brings me closer to the Bruce Lee end of the spectrum. Not bigger, but better and more capable. I'm an outlier today, but I wouldn't be in antiquity. The real harm of the physique inflation is that it turns you against your own body. It becomes something you have to coerce and drag into submission to get it to look like that fake ideal. And that never ends well. The pile of injured bodies is mounting. By the way, it's clear that Batman has been dipping into a jar with something really unholy since the 60s, isn't it? I propose another metric. How about we measure success by how useful your body will be to your future self in 10, 20, or 30 years? It makes sense to be kind to yourself and not to try to impress strangers, because what good are likes today if you'll have trouble getting out of bed in 5 years' time? So, pity the young men, but more importantly, let's give them a way out. Most people treat fitness like a short project. 10 years later, they wake up with fewer options. They can't pick up the things they've dropped, travel unassisted, or play with their kids or grandkids. My course is designed to stop that slow narrowing of choices. It has short, sensible routines you can fold into your daily life and a community that will keep you honest. If you want to keep your future options open, join the beta. It's now complete. Early members get direct feedback and priority access to future materials. You expect me to say thank you very much for watching, but not yet. I just wanted to add a few words about considering what you were brought up in as normal. Philosophically speaking, as Heidegger points out, it is our job as humans to overcome this thrownness, as in being thrown into our time and culture and thinking this is all normal. Okay, now thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!